What's up, everyone? I'm Tre Moore, video content creator for InsideMarylandSports.com, and today we are joined by Maryland starting safety Dante Trader. Dante, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So we got a couple of questions for Dante that I put together, and I'm going to start with, I thought you've had a great year so far, especially the game against Ohio State. One play that sticks out in my mind is the pass deflection you had over Marvin Harrison. But overall, how would you grade this year so far for you?
I feel like I've been solid. I made way more plays on the ball, been around the ball a little more. Fix my consistency with tackling and coverage and stuff like that. I will definitely like some of those plays back that were pass breakups to get those interceptions. Little, more details in the footwork and more execution wise. I would focus on to make those plays in the second half of the season. But overall, it's been solid.
Yeah, no, I totally would agree with that. But you missed last weekend's game against Illinois. How do you still help with the preparation with guys like Glendon Miller and Bo Braid and other members of the secondary during the week, like in film studies and in practice, even when you're injured? How do you help with those guys?
Most of those guys are like high powered machines anyway, so they already know the ins and outs of the game. So just giving them another perspective of what I see and something they may not have seen, or just giving them suggestions and things like that. But overall, those guys are they're elite level athletes, so I didn't really have to do much. But watching films of those guys, just bouncing ideas off of them, and just giving confidence to the guys that that could get in, like Scruggs and Vontae Williams and even Rex Fleming. So those guys, we never know who can go in a game. So you got to give confidence to those guys. Like, yo, you ready? Giving them pep talks and just helping them out throughout the week.
Yeah, no, for sure. Some people might not know this, but you, Bo Braid, and Ruben Hippolyte have your own podcast called the One Speed Podcast. I want to know, what was the motivation behind creating that?
So we always have like, the couch talks and, we get into some crazy conversations. We always like joke around like, bro, like people would pay to hear some of the crazy things we say or like the conversation, the arguments that we get into. It's like, yo, let's start a podcast. And a lot of people's problems, like they never get it off the ground. They keep it in words. We put it into fruition and buying the podcast system, getting the editor, getting the recorder. It was like, yo, like we buy this stuff. We ain't going to waste some money. So we're just going to do it, and, it just stemmed from us wanting to give more to ourselves, give value to ourselves, and then also help other people in mind. So like some of the things we talk about, motivation, sports, and stories we can have could shape other people's lives.
Yeah. How do you guys prepare for those podcasts? You guys put a lot of preparation into the different questions you ask each other and just the overall game plan. I know you've done some different things. You went over to gymnastics. You've been to a frat house now. How much preparation do you guys put in that? And how do you balance that with playing football?
It's a lot. We throughout the days of in between breaks in class, we'll text each other. Sometimes we meet up and go to Blaze Pizza, talk about how we're going to schedule the episode, and like most of the time, like certain guests or like certain videos, like the topics we have, like somebody has more of the topics, they'll be the one leading the video, intro and transitioning. But the hardest part is definitely when like the transition, the gray area, because like you don't want it to be like weird and thing. You want to be smooth. So we kind of talk it out, like, and just try to fill each other out when somebody's done talking. Most of the stuff like you see in the works comes like from ideas of like, I was like your creatures of habit. You see other people do stuff. It's like, all right, we could do this, and just have our own spins on it. We, shoot each other a text in our group chat and like, yo, we should do this. And that's how you see like sports swaps, and you got like, tours of frat houses. Like we're just trying to be a diverse like entertainment like company.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense because I've watched some of the videos. It's a really cool product that you guys are putting out, and especially some of the editing that you guys have in there is a really good job overall with that product. And I like listening when Deontay Banks has come on and Talia has come on. Some of those videos are really cool to check out. So I was wondering a little bit about Bo Braid. I know you guys are really good teammates off the field. How does that help with communicating on the field and playing off each other?
Like I always say to everybody, like it's just like having a brother out there. Like we do everything together. We live together, go eat together, talk business together, have business together. And it's like you can't have a stronger bond on the field. Like I can literally be next to him and know how he moves on the field, and I don't even have to look at him. And that just goes from the hours of preparation we spend in the film room and on the field talking about stuff. Like even like pregame walk, we have our little walkthroughs in the hotels, and like we're literally on air. Everybody's looking at us like we're weird. Like we're literally going through our footwork. Like, yo, like we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Like it's just visualization. We literally do everything on a string and everything. You kind of see us on the field. Like And we have this mindset. That's why we had our company called One Speed. You see us, we're everywhere on that field. Like if he missed
Yeah.
something, I'm there. If I miss something, he's there. Like we cleaning up everything. But overall, our relationship is just definitely like a brother's relationship.
Yeah, no, I can see that on the field. I mean, I obviously don't see the off the field relationship a ton, but like I see it on the podcast and then I see it come out on the field because you guys have been arguably one of the best safety duos in the Big Ten. So overall, that's really cool to hear how you guys have built that friendship. But we all know that you played football and lacrosse last year. I'm curious to know if lacrosse has helped you become a better football player at all and vice versa.
I just say it just strengthened my mentality, my mindset, because from your lacrosse background, lacrosse is very mental and very hard to get up into. So being able to come back after 3 years and go out there with some elite level athletes is like, all right, you got to be like mentally sharp because you don't have the physical reps that these guys been getting since what fall ball and all those crazy things. And I gained a lot of confidence. I'm like, bro, like I'm on an island as a D mid. Like I played D mid, I was on an island. So like you get that confidence, you covering everybody. So when I came back to football, it's like, bro, I just did one of the hardest things you could do, which is play two sports. Ain't nothing can stop me. Like I've been in extremes of extremes. Like what I'm saying, in terms of mental fatigue and a mental sport, and then a very physical dominant sport with football. You bring that all together. It's just a mindset thing. Like go to the weight room, go to the football field. Nothing can stop me. That's this mindset. Is like top sheer like confidence is what definitely brought me like I get from lacrosse, definitely.
Yeah, no, one question I have about the lacrosse thing, just the last thing I'll touch about with the lacrosse, but after not having, I'm guessing you didn't really mess around with the stick a ton during your year off from lacrosse. Was it hard to just pick it up and get back out there with Maryland, who's like one of the best teams in the country? Those guys' sticks are dialed in every day. And me being a lacrosse player, I have trouble sometimes with the stick skills, and I'm playing every single day. Was that hard overall to just go out there and start playing? Or like, were you kind of messing around with the stick a little bit in the off season or doing shooting here or there just because, you like doing it and it's a hobby of yours and you've always played your whole life?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I knew exactly like I just said. I didn't have the physical reps, so everything had to be mental for me. Like I literally would have to mentally like visualize me shooting on a goal, me catching the ball, me being in these situations to be able to catch up to some of the things. So I would have confidence in all these positions. It's like, okay, like you talk about the stick skills. It's like I didn't pick my stick up at all. I didn't know I was going to come back. It was more like a last second decision. I was like, all right, let's go do it. Like that's just the type of guy I am. Like whatever, like do some crazy stuff. But it was like, as soon as I got the stick back, I was just like, if I got confidence in it, I don't need the reps. That was just me. And it was like, over the years of playing lacrosse in my life, like you get a certain base level of a foundation from the amount of wall ball reps, the amount of shots. Like those don't go away. Like it may take you a practice or two to get your mojo back, fine tune your stick, and like you missing the corners now, or your stick pass is not there, but over like the next day. But if your mind's in it, most of that stuff will come back. Obviously, you'll lose some of your touch. Like I'm not the same offensive player that I was, but I had a good amount back. But most of it was a mindset thing. Like I believed that I had six skills. I believe in it, so I wasn't nervous in those situations. Like I felt like the mind is very tricky in that sport. Is like once you get in a slump, then you start missing shots, you start dropping the ball, you start over analyzing everything. It's a lot. Like that's why I say lacrosse is so mental.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. It's very impressive how you're able to do that. But I want to know about a little bit more about you helping out in the community. It's one thing I love seeing you do, whether it's the backpack drive with the One Speed podcast or seeing you volunteer at lacrosse clinics for the youth. What's kind of your motivation and story behind that?
Coming from a small town in Almar, where I didn't have as much help with a lot of stuff, and you see a lot of extremes with some of the people you go to school with, on teams with. Like over the years, I've just been impacted by the people that I've been around and the environments I've been able to see. Like, bro, like I got it good. Like I may not have it all. I'm not rich. I'm not everything, but I got two parents in the house. I got food in my stomach, clothes on my back, and there's a lot of people who don't have that, and there's a lot of people who don't have role models in this world for anything, which is outside of sports, in sports. And I was like, I have the platform, and I wish I had something like this, or I wish I could help the people that I've been around. So when I get a chance to do it on a bigger scale, which not directly help the people that I know, but impact the community, like the backpack drive, like my whole thing is like I like to help kids. Like the next generations is always the best generation because they're the next for us. It's the future. It's our future. and the impact of future. We're always dealing with kids. They look up to guys like me that play football, that play lacrosse, and it's like, and in the DC area, I was like talking to Bo, talking to Ruben. I'm like, yo, think about it. Like if we handed out some food to some of these schools. I was like, if they gotta struggle to get food, imagine them having to pay for school supplies and backpacks and all of this. I said, let's alleviate one of the parents' burdens of paying for 200, $300 versus in school supplies and backpacks, and go raise and do something good in the community. And then on top of that, with the lacrosse, it's like, okay, like, especially because I was working with the Nation United camp, the Boost camp, and a lot of Black lacrosse players. It's like, I was once there, right? I was looking up to the Kyle Harrisons, the Sam Bradmans that were like small, like Black lacrosse players, and I wanted to be that outlet. So I do anything I can to go help lacrosse guys, and just love for the sport. You just give back all the time.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I mean, I love seeing you do that. It's brought me motivation to help outside of the lacrosse field and overall in the community. It's amazing to see you able to do that, and what your kind of motivation and story behind that is. But I want to know a little bit about Coach Loxley. We don't get to see him much in the building. We don't get to see what you see every day. I want to know about his personality, just overall him as a human being, because we just get to see really the interviews and the press conferences. We don't really know too much about Coach Loxley besides those things. We know that you guys love him overall, but I want to know a little bit more about his personality.
Let me just go say this about Coach Locks. Like, he's doing a tremendous job changing the trajectory of this program. Building every year. He may not get the recognition or the love that he deserves, but it just comes with it. It's like we lost that game, and now they want to talk about due to fire Coach Loxley and this one and third, but they're not recognizing where he's been back-to-back bowl games and building. We're human. We take hiccups, but the guy is a tremendous leader. Very like a player's coach, great recruiter. But honestly, he cares outside of football. While we have one of the few programs that have mentorship programs, really stresses mentors. A bunch of high level, wealthy mentors that help us outside of the football. Like, give us a life when that ball stops rolling. He gives that for us. He invests in a lot of the staff and the resources we have. We got the best nutrition, best training staff, a lot of things. Like, he cares about the players, environment and what they're going to do after. It just goes to show the type of guy he is. He develops people. Like, there's a lot of programs like you mess up and this at a 30 gone, and like these badges, you're like, no, like he's literally brought kids and turned them into men, and that's what he does. He's like another father to all of us, and I would just give him credit for all that.
Yeah, no, he's definitely changed the trajectory of the Maryland football program. I mean, I've talked about it a lot. He's added a win, at least one win every single year, and I hope he continues to do that this year. I hope you guys are able to get to at least 9, maybe 10 wins. But overall, I want to know a player that you've looked up to on the football field in terms of, it can be a college player, it can be an NFL player, a guy that maybe you watch some film on, a guy that you maybe model your game after a little bit, take a piece of his game.
I'll go each level. Obviously, I kind of, all right. Let me go just NFL right now. Let's go current. I kind of like watching. This is not my position, but Fred Warner. Like, his style of play is just amazing. He's everything you want out of a linebacker, out of a pro, out of an elite athlete. You could tell the amount of love he has for the game, the amount of preparation he puts in the game, every phase of it. Like, he's big, he's fast, he's strong, he's smart. You can see him pointing, communicating. He's just a leader out there. And that's what I want to embody as a mindset. That's not my position, but I want to embody that mindset and that playing style of Fred Warner. And then even my position, you got guys like Minka, Javon Holland. I watch those guys, Buda Baker, those type of safeties. That's not necessarily model my game after those guys. It's just nick and pick and see what these guys do. How do they tackle? How they play a half? How they play middle of the field? How do they read stuff? And just listen to them, film breakdowns. And one of the great players I probably I look up to now that's on our staff is Navarro Bowman. If you watch tape on that guy when he was with Patrick Willis, it was the best duo ever that you could say that I'll say. It's biased because I'm a 49ers fan, but I pick Navarro's brain on everything. It was his mindset, playing style, culture. He's a big culture guy. He impacts me a lot. So I give a lot of credit to Navarro.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm curious, how did you become a 49ers fan? What's the story behind that?
Story behind it. I used to follow everything about Troy Polamalu, right? Had a jersey and everything. My dad got tired of it, and he was a 49ers fan, raised 49ers fan. You know how fathers are when you're young; they can do what they want. Bought me what was a jersey? It may have been a Patrick Willis jersey. Yeah, it was a Patrick Willis jersey, and he had a Navarro Bowman jersey. But he was just like, "Nah, you're a 49ers fan," and that was it. And so, I always had love for Troy Polamalu. Had to give up that jersey, but that's just a story. He just made me a 49ers fan.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Your dads can also often influence what team you cheer for. But how do you want to finish this year for the Maryland football team and yourself individually?
Individually, I just want to be a better football player overall, a better teammate, a better man, honestly. And better teammate, how do you do that? And you set the tone every day. You be consistent every day. You preach what the coaches want to hear and what you want to do, what you want to get accomplished. Be oriented in the process and not the outcomes. Be process oriented. Just work every day. And those things will take care of itself. Then you'll see it translate to the field. If I'm running to the ball in practice, I'm attacking the ball in practice, I'm taking the right angles, I'm taking every rep serious. You go to the game and I'm not missing a beat. I'm getting those tackles, I'm getting the picks, I'm getting those things. But as a statistical piece, like obviously I want to touch the ball and get some picks, more tackles, be more consistent and stuff like that. But I just want to win. I'm just so in love with winning. I just want to win. That's about it. Like, and individually, I can say whatever I want, but individual goals get taken care of when you win. So yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's exactly the mindset that you want to have overall. And we hope to see you guys win as many games as you guys can possibly can. We hope you can take down maybe a Michigan or a Penn State. But my last question is, what are your goals for the next step after Maryland in terms of NFL and those aspirations?
Obviously, God is going to have that plan for me, and He's going to lay it out for me always. Always a plan, always been the goal to get to the NFL and whatever team and however long I'm in the league. And, I'm going to use my resources to my advantage. I'm going to get everything out of the league and be smart with everything. But, just sky's the limit for me. And I'm just looking forward to all of my opportunities up in the future. And then that's about it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for joining us today, Dante.
No problem.
Appreciate having you on. Make sure to check out the latest Terps news at InsideMarylandSports.com.